Hi everyone, can you hear me? We'll wait a little while to see if anyone else comes into the room. Okay, well, we'll begin. I hope everyone's having a good day so far. These following problems are by Oyama Yasuharu, and they're fairly simple problems and are appropriate for Q-level players. So if you want to take a guess, you can please don't send the message directly in the chat or draw arrows if you're in the room, but send me a whisper, and you don't have to give the entire solution, just the final three moves. Would anyone like to take a guess? Okay, if not, I'll just make some comments about the position. Right now, this horse protects against the king escaping on 3-3. As it is, the king also has this escape rock and can also take the silver. So a very common theme in tsumeshogi is that you want to drive the king down to the first rank. So one of the moves that you'd look at is this check, because if the king takes and you finish him off with a gold drop here, but unfortunately with best play this won't work because the king will escape on that 3-3 square since the horse is no longer protecting that square. So when we look at this, we have to find out a way to stop him from running to this 3-3 square. Anybody have any ideas? Okay, so what we want to do is block the 3-3 square to prevent the king from running up. So we do this by dropping the silver on 3-3. Now, if the king moves up, we can do this check on 3-3 on 3-1, and this is going to end up being a mate because the silver and the horse are attacking the 2-2 square. So it won't matter if there's an interposition like this because you simply take it. So that leaves two moves, one of which is taking with the king, but then there's a mate like this, and then there's the so I guess the continuation that takes the most moves, which is bishop takes, blocking the 3-3 square. And then we can follow up with that idea that we had before with the 3-1 horse. Now this is forced, and then we mate with 3-2 gold. So I'll show that again. Oh, and by the way, if you're going to drop a piece here, it's important to know which piece to drop. Because if you drop with the gold, the king will run up this way, and you can try to escape on 2-4. So this solution ends up failing. King gets out. So we must use the silver instead of the gold. Takes, check, and mate. Okay, we can move on to the next problem. Don't be afraid to guess. Just remember to send me in a whisper or a personal message so that it doesn't, so your answer isn't seen by the other viewers. Anyone have any ideas? Oh, uh, Koba off inbox. Please send me a whisper so that other viewers don't see your solution. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. And you don't need to give the entire solution, just the final three moves of the mate. I know these are really short problems, so it probably won't matter, and I'll understand anyway, but it's just for your convenience. Yeah, I didn't quite understand your variation. Because it looks like you made two moves using black's pieces. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah. If it wasn't, that would be mate, though. Yeah, I don't understand your solution, Schwartz. Yeah, you just said that the piece that on 4-1, yeah. Hey, hi, Stare Gaming SC. Good to have you here. I think you're a new face. Welcome, welcome. Did you hear? Did you hear my explanation of what we're doing? No, your people were a little quiet when we started out, but hopefully we can get some chat going. There's not very many of us, so you know it's good to 8 or 9 years. Okay, great. Okay, what these are. Do you know of Oyama Yasuharu? He's one of the greatest players of all time. Well, he was also a very good endgame player, and he composed a lot of problems. Yeah, yeah, very one of the all-time great endgame players. And what I've been showing is some of the problems from a book that he wrote, and these are the first problems in the book, so they're pretty easy to do. And what's great about them is that they're all what you call jisen katachi, which means it looks like positions that could actually be be from actual games rather than composed looking problems. So these are very practical and easy to do. So hopefully you'll get something out of it. Been playing shogi for about 8 or 9 years and had a long break. Okay. Can I ask what, if you don't mind, could I ask what your rank was? Or if you had a rank? Yes, Schwartz, that is correct. Okay. Well, do you know of the 81 Dojo server? Okay. Okay. Well, you can always um, find me there. My handle there is also Alexi. Hmm. Yeah, I'm trying to understand your variation, Kolbas. Ah, okay. Good to meet you. Nice to meet you. Uh-huh. Ah, okay. Okay. So if you're gonna try to guess at a solution, please send me through Whisper rather than directly in the chat. Yes, you're free to, make attempts. It's okay to make mistakes. Here, you can send the Whisper here. Hmm. Yeah, I'm having trouble following your variation, Koba. Anyway, I'll let me make some comments about this position. Okay. First of all, if we imagine the king being on 2-2 instead of 3-1 where it is now, the mate would be very easy. All we need to do is move the dragon up to 4-2, and both the silver and the dragon are attacking the 3-2 square, so no matter what is interposed, the dragon just takes and there's mate. Okay, yeah, he's okay. Stair gaming. If silver 5-2 is your initial move, right? So he's gonna play king 2-2 on that, whether you promote or not. Yeah. So he's gonna. But anyway, let me. Okay, so back to this position. So if we imagine the king on 2-2, there's going to be an easy mate. So I'll give the first. Okay. Now, if this, you move the king to 2-2. And if check, and, well, maybe with the, I guess with the knight, and check over check. And you notice this bishop here is protecting the 2-2 square, so there's not going to be a mate here. And drop the knight here, and the king escapes. No way to see. Check, 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 check. Yeah, there's no more checks. Okay, so we can go back. And that won't matter if the silver is promoted or not. Okay, and we'll look at Kolbe Offenbach's his suggestion of 4-2 silver. If king up and you promote here, the king will take it. And you see again the bishop protects the 3-1 square. So there's no mate like this. So one of the things we have to do is look for a nice light move and try to combine this with that idea that I showed you earlier about the king being on 2-2. And if you can figure a way to combine both ideas, you're going to find the key to the solution. Yeah, the strange thing about this interface is when I try to look at the chat list, it doesn't show everyone. It's showing 6 viewers watching now, but when I click to see the list, there's only 5 people, so I don't... Does anyone know why that is? Okay. C5. Yeah, there was 6 about a minute ago. Guess we lost someone. Yeah. Huh, strange. Okay. Alright. I will give the solution. It's the light move is this silver drop on 2-2. And so if the king takes, then we end up with that same position that I gave in the hint. There's no interposition. There's 2 pieces attacking the square. So that means that the only way for white to resist is to take it with the bishop. And when we do that, you notice that the 2-2 square is blocked and is no longer available for the king to escape. So this seals his fate. We do this discovered check. King up. And then mate. Okay, I'll show that again. Ideally, we want this position. So we set it up by doing this. And it takes, there's a mate this way. So it takes this way and blocks the escape route. It doesn't matter if he promotes or not, because there's this mate. Or you can move one of the pieces here. Good. Okay, we can load the next problem. Is there a major difference between the last possible moves? You mean the silver promote or not? No, it didn't matter if the silver was promoted or not, because the 4-1 square is covered, and the dragon would just move there. They're equal. They both mate. Yeah, this problem looks a little funny because the king is all kind of stuck on this edge. A lot of times you see the king stuck on the back rank like this, but it's almost like the board was turned. Yes, Stairs Gaming, that is correct. Okay, yes, it is. What does Stairs Gaming mean anyway? Does SC mean like StarCraft or something? Dennis. Okay, will do. Will do. Dragon getting stuck on a staircase. Hmm. Yeah, I know of StarCraft. Unfortunately, I haven't really played it. Huh, so there's dragons in that. Hmm, okay. That last move, Schwartz. I think you mistyped, right? Yes, Koba. Excuse me. Yes, Dennis, that is correct. And yes, okay, everyone got it. Good, good, good. Dragoon. Oh, okay. Yes, I know what a dragoon is. See what happens when you're not careful reading? In both shogi and just regular text. A dessert can become desert. Completely different. Good. Everyone found this move. If knight takes, drop, check, and the king is sealed in. So king has to take. And then we can see why this lance has to be here in order to keep this silver in place. Check. And mate. Good. Good. Everyone got it. There are two more problems for today. Yes, you can type in the last three moves of the solution. I know that's your initial move. So part of it is telling me what the opponent is gonna, well, the king is gonna do. Hmm. Pretty close though. Yeah, one of the things about when you calculate out variations that fail are that, it's not always a waste. Sometimes if you tweak the move order or tweak like some of the moves, the solution will actually include part of those variations that you already calculated. So I wouldn't give up on that line of thinking completely. There's just a little tweaks here and there, and you'll find your way. on Schwartz, you're being a little quiet. Dennis, how are you doing? You're thinking, okay, good. Yeah, it's a bit tricky. Okay, I'll make some comments on the position, and let's see. I mean, I don't want to really ruin it for everyone, but uh, okay, I'll let's just analyze a little bit. Okay, one of the things that we look at is dropping a piece on 2-4. Haha, yeah, that is correct. Okay, someone got the idea. Okay, so we look at this check with a gold or a silver. If we drop the silver here, uh, the pawn can't take because of this gold drop, so the king will take. But unfortunately here, when you do this check, the king can escape to 1-5, and he has two ways of running, so there's no way to continue the checks. See? And of course, he can't run back here because of this checkmate. So when we're calculating, we see all of those ideas. And we see that the king can run here. But what I was saying before is, all of those calculations that we did aren't for naught. We can still make use of it. If we just, make small changes in move orders or maybe piece drops. So when we're looking at this, we say, well, if this 2-6 square was covered, then this gold drop here would be possible. So taking that into account, what we'll do is drop the gold here instead, and then the silver drop. Now if king takes, we still have this last gold in hand, and we can do this checkmate. King up, we have this. And king this way, we have 2-5 knight. And this is koma amari, which means it's not the solution that the uh, composer would want you to end up with, because there's still peace in hand. Hey, hi Destiny. How did your tournament go? Okay. Yeah, this was nice. Okay, everything is protected. Okay. And I guess a final remark about this position is, there's certain proverbs in shogi. One is save the gold for last. I, I guess that is true. That is still true here. But because in the end, you still, I mean, the final piece in hand is a gold. But I think one of sort of like the false paths that you might choose is the silver drop, because you end up keeping two golds in hand, but they end up being extraneous. So whenever we hear general principles like that, we have to be careful about how they're applied. In some instances they're correct, but others they're not. So everything has to be backed up by hard calculation. I mean, it turns out it's not Budapest versus Debrecen, but just a regular tournament. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, maybe you can show me the games later on, and we can go over them. So now we're going to load up the last problem of the day. There we go. Ah, yeah, the time controls for tournaments like that are probably going to be short. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the things about amateur shogi tournaments. If you compare it to a lot of chess events, the chess events in general are a lot better organized. They don't try to cram everything into like 1 or 2 days. But for shogi tournaments, because they're few and far between, uh, the the options of the organizers tend to be limited. So it's really too bad that we can't have really good quality amateur tournaments in the West, especially. But even in Japan, I don't know if it's just a cultural thing, but even for them, the amateur tournaments tend to be not as nice as amateur chess tournaments. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's one of the curses of our game. It tends not to be as popular as things like Go or chess. I don't know if part of it has to do with the kanji on the pieces, but I imagine that would be a major factor. Although if you take the time to learn to learn the kanji, it doesn't take very long, and eventually you get to a point where it's almost like looking at regular chess pieces. A lot of times it's that initial investment of extra time to learn them that put people off, which is really sad because there's so much. I mean, this is such a fun game, but I don't know if the Western style pieces are. I mean, I guess that's kind of a solution, but even that hasn't seemed to help a whole lot. So yeah, I actually play Go too, so yeah, I'm familiar with that. Another thing that I was actually explaining to one of my friends was that in in shogi there, it's historically hasn't been in Japan. It hasn't been as well funded as Go, and that makes a huge difference because even you know hundreds of years later, it still shows up in how the size of the professional playing population. Because when in the times, the Edo Jidai, when there were shoguns, the Go and shogi used to be funded by the government, and Go was always given more money than shogi for whatever reason. So that made it easier for Go to have you know uh, like a larger professional system. They had they had four families that were playing for their major title, whereas in shogi there was only enough resources to make two major families, so it's like half. And part of the reason why it was that shogi has traditionally been, well, at least in the past, has been associated with gambling, and so it wasn't really cool to be a shogi player. People would think of you almost, like a pool hustler or something. So yeah, it didn't have a good reputation. I mean, not nowadays that image has been pretty much shed, but we can see the consequences of the history of the game, of why things are like they are now. But it didn't. Yeah, mahjong is a gambling game, but it didn't have It didn't have official support by the government, did it? I'm just speaking in terms of funding, official funding, because the thing about funding, which I mean, it's extremely important for a game to have to be sponsored, because where there's money, there's always growth, and we can even see this with like U.S. chess. Maybe within the last 10 years, you probably heard of Rex Sinkfield, right? He's a billionaire who started the St. Louis Chess Club, and now we have three of the top 10 players all in the U.S. A lot of it had to do with sponsorship. And same if you look at the USSR in chess, Soviet Union, they had the best chess system. Is because the chess was supported by the government. Well, we can hope, right? Okay, I'm sorry. I've been talking too long and I've been neglecting people's answers. Sorry about that. Okay, Maple, can you hear me? If you can, after your first move, he's gonna move the. Oh, hey, let me just send him a PM. Okay, Destiny. Yes, Destiny. That is correct. Oh, yeah, yeah, Dennis said that makes sense. There's because Belarus has a large shogi population, an unusually large shogi population. So that does makes yeah, that makes total sense. Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay. I will show the final solution. Now, if this, I'll show this one first. If this check, the king will move to 1-2. Check, takes, 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 check, and king escapes. No more checks. So that doesn't work. Um, but if we look at, let's say, an incorrect solution, instead of 1-2 king, if we imagine the king going to 1-3 instead, then there would be a mate. See, we have that like this. So what we can tell by this is that the king can't go to the 1-3 square. Otherwise, there's the 3-1 bishop drop. So we can still make use of that idea here. Yeah, like I said before, these failed variations aren't a total waste. You can still uh, re retool them. So kind of the hint is if the king is on 1-3, there's going to be a mate by 3-1 bishop. Good. Okay. So what we want to do is drum roll. Oh, my pointer was over it. Sorry, I forgot about that. I forgot you guys could see it. 1-3 bishop. Yes, yes. So again, if king takes, we can drop the bishop here, and king here or here, promote, and there's going to be a mate. Yep, mate. Make sure you don't do this, because the king runs out. That one matters. With this one, then you can do either bishop. And then if lance or knight takes, doesn't matter which, drop the bishop here. Look at that. Death on the diagonals. So the theme of this problem was sacrificing a piece on an escape square. You want to block a square, so you drop sacrifice on it. See, in this one, we definitely did not save the gold for last. We saved it for first. Okay, well, that's it for today. Thank you for joining me. Hope you guys had fun and that this was helpful to you. And it's really good to see new faces. If you like this stream, please let other people know about it. A lot of times that you can get other viewers by word of mouth. So yeah, have a good night. Have a good night. And if you haven't already, I do have a YouTube channel where I upload some of my videos. I'll put the link down here. That's my YouTube video, where I store my YouTube videos. I don't have Twitch Prime, so the streams that I put up get taken down after 2 weeks. So a lot of times the streaming tends to be dry run stuff, especially if if I'm showing problems and there's long pauses. What I'll do is make a separate video and to kind of clean stuff up, and then I'll post it to the YouTube. Yeah. So Oh yeah, and I want I'd like to thank my student Schwartz for his donation. Um, I think I told you guys before, but there's a book sale on the MyNavi site. You can get PDF shogi books for 50, well, some a rather large selection for 50% off. So I'm going to be placing my order, and he was kind enough to, send me some funds so I could, do some book purchases. So anyway, this thing also will help everyone else too because I'll have more material. So please give a thank you to him as well. And if you do want to support the stream, you can contact me on my email at alexei2539@gmail.com. You know, the support doesn't always have to be monetary. It can also be in time as well. And in a lot of cases, the time element is a lot more important because I'm only one person and I can only do so much. But there's things that I'd have to do in between that if you're able to help out in like doing certain things like inputting the problems into BCM, for instance, that would end up saving me time and it would free me up to do other things. Like for instance, with these problems, I took them from an Oyama shogi book, and so because of the shogi interface that we're using, it has to be entered into BCM shogi and changed to BOD format before it can be uploaded. It's one of the peculiarities of this client. So if you could, I could take pictures. For instance, I could take pictures of the problems that I would need to be converted into problems that I could post up on 81 Dojo. If I could email you those photos and you could uh, do the conversions for me, that would actually help out a lot. Or also, if you read Japanese, one of the things that I wanted to do was crowdsource project where we collect kifu from the Shogi DB2 site. That also takes up a lot of my time. So, so a lot of different ways of helping. Also, just letting other people know about the stream and my YouTube channel. That also helps out tremendously. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for joining me. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. I will be streaming again tomorrow, hopefully around the same time. More tsumeshogi problems. So hopefully you guys can tune in and see you then. Take care. Bye.